Hello everyone, today I want to show you a quick tutorial on how to create and use rubrics on Google Classroom. Rubrics is a feature that was added to Google Classroom around this time last year and is a great tool to give feedback to our pupils on their work and can also cut your marking time significantly. So to get started, we go over to our Google Classroom and I have set up a wee test class and we're going to create an assignment. So as you know, to create an assignment, we go to Classwork, Create and Assignment. Now, when you have created assignments in the past, you may have noticed this dimmed out button down in the bottom right hand corner that says Rubric. Now, in order to make it clickable, we just simply give the assignment a name and then the button becomes clickable. Now if I click on Rubric, I have three options here. I can create a rubric, reuse an old one that I've created before for a different assignment, or import my own criteria for rubric from Google Sheets. For the purpose of today's tutorial, we're just going to create our own rubric. Here is where I can add the different criteria that I'm going to use to help evaluate my pupils' work and to give them feedback. Each student will receive a copy of this rubric prior to completing their assignment. So when you assign a piece of work and create a rubric with it, children can actually see the performance levels or the descriptions that they are going to be marked against. It's like providing them with a digital mark scheme for a piece of work. So obviously when creating criteria, it's going to be subject and task specific. So for this one, I'm just going to use simple language and simple marking tools. So the first criteria I might want the children to meet is the overall quality of work. And this criteria is the general quality of work submitted. So for the first piece of criteria that I'm going to use to evaluate the student's work, I'll probably give it 4 marks, and that will be for an excellent piece of work. The description for that will be excellent piece of work submitted, presentation of the work was outstanding. And then I can add another level, and this might be 3 marks, and this will be for a good level of work. So good piece of work submitted, presentation of the work was of a good standard. And then I continue on and I can give 2 marks and then 1 marks, and this could be for satisfactory and poor, or instead of poor, needs improvement. So as you can see, I have filled out my points from 4 to 1 for the criteria of overall quality of work. Now typically when I am using rubrics, I will use this function of adding another criteria, which could be vocabulary or grammar, or something else that would be used for a specific task or to do with music and drama. Now, for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and add other vocabulary criteria, and I'm also going to add grammar criteria. So, as you can see, I have added in vocabulary as a criteria, and if you notice, the description of this criterion is quality of written work AO3, because the assessment objective 3, quality of written work, is one of the objectives for drama, and so I've linked my criteria to the assessment objectives in my subject. And then as I scroll down, I have added a third criteria of grammar. So once you have set up your rubric for your classroom assignment, you simply hit save. Then you can finish off adding instructions to the test assignment, and then you can, as we know, allocate the assignment to your class. Over to my personal profile, and I am enrolled as a student in the class. So this is what students see when you post an assignment with rubrics linked to it. So the teacher, Mr. Sharkey, has uploaded a new assignment, and I can see as a student the 3 different criteria that I have to meet for this particular assignment. I can drop down the boxes just to see what criteria my teacher has allocated to this assignment. I can read through it myself. If I am a student and I can see vocabulary as a criteria that I need to meet, I can look at it and read and see, okay, Mr. Sharkey is looking for great use of vocabulary, definitions were used and explained to a great level. So I can see that I need to meet these as a student. So then I go as a student and I upload my work. Now, jumping back as a teacher and using rubrics, I know that my students have uploaded their piece of work, and so I click on the test assignment, I view the one that has been handed in, I click on the piece of work, and down the right hand side the rubric that I applied to this piece of work is available. I can use the drop down box by clicking on the blue of the criterion, and I can drop down and I can see the criteria that I allocated this assignment. So as I look down it, there's good use of information, there's great use of pictures, and so on. So the overall quality of work I can apply is excellent. And as you can see, it's automatically adding the mark here. Vocabulary, if I say vocabulary, okay, that's good level of vocabulary. Again, it's adding to the total. And the grammar is a good use of grammar. Okay. And then what I can do is I can return that piece of work. You can also add any extra, as you know, any extra comments in the private comment box. But this is simply just using rubrics. Then you may ask, well, what do the children get when they receive that piece of work back? Well, if they click on the assignment again, they can see as a child that the quality of work was excellent, the vocabulary that they used in the assignment was good, and the grammar in the assignment was good as well. And so this is what the children see when they receive a piece of work back. Now, that cut down my marking as a teacher quite quickly. It was simply just clicking buttons, but I had already applied the criteria to the assignment. And then as a pupil, when I get the work back, I can see exactly what criteria needed to be met and how I met them and what points did I get for the criteria that I met. And then I can work out as a child that I got 80 out of 100. So hopefully this is a helpful tool and tutorial on how to use rubrics in Google Classroom. Like all of these tutorials today, the best way to test them out is to dive straight in and explore the features yourselves. But if you have any questions with Google Classroom or using rubrics, please just give me a shout and I will happily help you. Thank you.